Hey everybody, Taylor Lomprez here with Homes by TLC at Keller Williams Realty, and today on TLC Talks, we are with Miles Chandler, the owner of Zenith Degree. So long-term rentals, right?
Yep, long-term residential. Yep, and I am the owner and sole operator.
Love it.
So just a disclaimer there. But yeah, I primarily focus on long-term residential property management, so long-term rentals.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And so let's really focus on the investor side of it, the
Mhm.
owner side.
Yep.
Who maybe I would have an investor purchase a property and they don't want to move in, they just want a renter in there. So
Yeah.
how do you market that property to find renters for them?
Yeah, so marketing is a big topic. Obviously, the first place where we start is a rent market analysis. We want to see,
Okay.
hey, what can this property rent for? And it's a combination of looking at what has previously rented and what the current live market is, so that we can get a pulse check on what to list the property at.
Makes sense. And sometimes, sorry to cut you
Yeah,
off,
yeah,
but
yeah.
sometimes we might want to see that before offering.
Yeah.
Is that kind of something you would be okay
Yes,
with?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, and then I'm just gonna shoot the numbers straight. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna try to make anything look different than what it is.
Yeah.
Because after the signing and after the close, it's my job then to make sure that it gets rented. So,
exactly.
yeah, there's no plushing of the numbers, so to speak. Yeah.
Good.
So, yeah, so the rent market analysis. After that, we want to get professional photography done. I know that people like to take their own photography, and that's fantastic, but
it's not fantastic. Stop it.
But no, it's really important to make sure that we show the property in its glory like it should. And then on top of that, verbiage. For renters, a lot of times they might not be in the area. They want to know what communities is it in. They want to know how far it is to drive to certain locations.
Yep.
They want to know, is a washer and dryer included? Those kinds of things. So it's really important to highlight the features of the property.
Yeah.
And then a little caveat there is just listing everywhere. Like for me, I've even listed like on Nextdoor.
Okay.
I'm big on Facebook. People kind of roll their eyes, but I've gotten a lot of tenants through Facebook.
Absolutely.
So just all over the place, you want to kind of market that property.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you have the possible tenants now. You've marketed it beautifully. You have a whole list of 10 applications.
Yes.
What does the screening process look like?
Yes, screening process is very important. You want to make sure that whoever you put into the space is obviously qualified.
Yes.
So one of the things that I do is I like to make sure that the tenant is making 3 times the annualized rent.
Okay.
A lot of times tenants kind of roll their eyes at me and they're like, oh my God, this owner is a little bit requiring a lot. But really it's to make sure that whoever I'm putting in the space is going to be able to stay afloat.
Right.
And they're not going to be, house poor, so to speak.
Yeah, okay.
So just confirming that via pay stubs, also looking at previous tax year information, and then also a credit check. We want to make sure that they have decent credit, as well as background check.
Understood.
So, yeah, I kind of have to click those boxes. And sometimes I have tenants that are going, man, it's almost like buying a home.
Yeah.
And it kind of is, we want to make sure that you're going to be able to sustain the length of the lease.
Yeah. For sure. So. Okay. And now that you have the tenant in place, you've chosen them after all that. They're a wonderful tenant. They're making 3 times the rent.
Yep.
What inspections happen throughout?
Yeah,
how does my owner know that you're going to take care of that?
Yeah, so inspections. I'd probably say it almost feels at times 70% of my job is inspections.
I'm sure.
So from signing a property, one of the first things we do, either before when we're getting professional photography, is a tenant make-ready inspection. So what that is making sure the light bulbs work, making sure that door stoppers are installed, the bathroom caulking looks good, just those kinds of small things. Because once we turn it over to the tenant, they're responsible, and then we expect to get that property back very similarly.
Yeah, you have a standard that you're never confused because you presented it like this.
It also gives the owner an opportunity to correct things that are needed before we get the tenant in there. Then there's the move-in inspection, which is almost identical to the tenant make-ready, but it is literally like, this is the final space that you're getting. This is what we expect to get back.
Okay.
Then throughout the lease, I do quarterly inspections. So when I do a quarterly inspection, I'm going in there, I'm changing the HVAC filter. And while I'm in there, I'm also taking some quick pictures just to make sure that the tenant is not going into default with their lease.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll see things. And I actually had an inspection almost a year ago where I was like, oh, there's a cat.
We didn't have that. There's a cat living here.
The tenant actually mentioned, you know, hey, I might get a cat. I warned the owner, so the owner was like, okay, that's fine, but I want a pet fee. Tenant failed to let me know. So I go, oh, you got a cat.
Yeah.
And so it's those types of situations, which is why I do that, to make sure that we can hold the tenant accountable. The tenant was really apologetic. Was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry to tell you, I got a cat. Yes, I'll pay the pet fee, obviously.
Good.
And I was able to turn that pet fee over to the owner.
Wonderful.
So those quarterly inspections are important. And then the move out inspection. You know, hey, tenant is leaving. We want to make sure that the property is professionally cleaned and they showed proof of that.
Okay.
We want to make sure there's no surprise holes in the walls. And in those cases where we do find those things, we will hold the security deposit in order to fix them.
Wow.
So
wonderful.
Yeah.
From start to finish.
Start to finish.
And it sounds like you love what you do.
I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to
love
property
this
management.
For you. Good. So did I not hit on anything you think's important?
No,
Those
I mean
are the
there's so much more that goes into property
right.
management, accounting, reconciliation, work orders. We could be here for hours.
Right.
But the three things that I thought of, like, hey, what are like the must-haves in property management? And those are the three for me that are priority.
How do you market the properties? How do you screen the tenants? And what do your inspections look like?
Yeah.
Those are great answers. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So if you guys have questions, obviously, you can reach out to me as normal, Taylor Lomprez. But how should they get a hold of you if they just want to go straight to you? Because I don't sell everyone in the low country. So how can they come straight to you?
So Instagram, Zenith Degree LLC, or on Facebook, Miles Chandler, or you just go to zenithdegree.com.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you guys later.